Hey guys, welcome to Early Access Control, Alpha, Beta, and Abandoned. And today we're taking a look at Outlaws of the Old West. Now, this game is a survival building sandbox genre, something that the community who was interested in survival games for a long time really wanted. We got this in, as you can see, March 2019. Before that, there was like Sunset Rangers, there was Wild West Online. Awful story with that one. There was a couple other ones, the Frontier, and a bunch of them had come out. And I can't remember if Red Dead Redemption 2 online came out before that. I believe it did, but it was a niche that people were kind of hungry for, and I get it. And then shortly after this game, by Virtual Basement and Wandering Wizard came Heat by Code Hatch. So the makers of Reign of Kings, they whipped that one out, and it was a little bit more attractive aesthetically, and it did have some cool mechanics to it. But that's another video that we'll have to discuss too. But talking about this game. Now, these publishers and the developer are no longer affiliated with this project. Some transaction occurred because now both these are linked to Snail Games USA. I want to touch on this because the state of Outlaws, which I'll just call it, it's pretty good. I mean, it's alive. There are the community's dwindling. It's not a ton of people playing it still, but there's tons of servers listed, and the game is in a very playable state. And you can buy it, and you can have fun, and I'm sure people would be happy maybe spending $5-6 on it right now. It's 75% off, right? That price point is interesting to me because it seems to me from what I've seen in the past is that this is just kind of a last ditch revenue squeeze. And we'll see these sales happen on these games year after year. As a new year starts and it's in winter, people will put things on sale and they'll get some money from it and hopefully some activity, and we'll go on and blah, blah, blah. So Snail Games doesn't have a super track record when it came to certain games in the past. There was some issues with Wushu, and there's issues with I can't remember if the issues surrounding Ark were directly linked to kind of some Snail Game stuff, or that was more like Project Wildcard stuff. I don't remember. My wires are all crossed, but we could talk about that after. The thing I wanted to touch on from Snail Games is they're a publisher and they own a bunch of games that are currently in early access right now. And one of them is they're always pumping out content for Ark, right? So this is early access. This is early access. I believe PixArk is still early access, or it might have made released. I'm not 100% sure. Atlas is. This is Fear the Night and Z Crew are. God, there's a lot of Ark expansions. Holy crap. And I'm going to say like this is probably on. Yeah, there's probably more here. So I bring that up because if you think about this logically, we've got Outlaws of the Old West that we're talking about right now, and say the player base is currently, peak players 25 or 30 people max, but Atlas has maybe like 400 to 500 peak players. It is a different game. I owned Atlas as well, but it's been a mess for a long time. And if they're gonna allocate any sort of development hours to anything, it's probably going to be Atlas over a game like this or one of their newer games, because it makes sense. Because no matter how much content they put out for Outlaws, it's only going to appease the people that have bought the game already. It might make a couple people happy and maybe buy the game new and make them interested, but the realistic perspective is that they're not going to put money into this game when probably more successful games that they have out right now that they should tend to are going to be Atlas and other games, PixArk and then tending to their Ark and all that kind of stuff, because I don't see the affiliation of the previous developer. I don't think it's just a publishing rights. I believe they own the whole game now. And anybody has the insight to that, you can definitely drop me a comment. So that's how it's going to work. They're not going to put money or staff or hours into doing something for a game like Outlaws, unfortunately, when they have other issues at hand. So that said, we can kind of take a look at the game. We know that it's going to be abandoned. This price point is probably going to pop up time and time again. It might just keep dropping in price as they try to squeeze revenue out of it, but don't expect it to change from where it's at right now. And I say that just because it's out of experience. We've seen it all before, and many of us that follow this channel and are interested in early access have seen it before too, right? So I'd be surprised. Well, the way I see it, I'll show you there's a pretty good list of servers that are active, and having active servers doesn't mean that the game is still in development. Let's remember that, okay? That just means that they have the money to keep servers active. And so it's easy for a company like Snail Games that has a lot of online multiplayer games. They can pull servers from a certain game, and they can use them for this game, or they can use them for that game. They can piggyback off one another and do those kind of things. So it does have a single player local mode, which is great. I think I haven't played it yet, but I mean that's a bonus for if you get stuck buying a game like this, is that at least you have that. So you can see there are a ton of official servers still active. I fully expect. So I guess the single player, maybe these are the private. I don't know how it works, but not too important. I expect the number of these to just drop off over time, and it may, why they're not going to keep them all active unless it really. I mean, maybe they will. They own the servers, and they're probably stuck in their headquarters or wherever they have their servers located, and that's how they're running it. I really don't know the inside track on that, but so the game's in a playable position. It's not a bad game. It's fun. It's what you'd expect for a Wild West shooter game. I don't know if I can kill this bear. I've played a couple times. It doesn't look like the AI is actually moving, so that's a bad sign. And the reason why I say it's a bad sign is means it needs server maintenance. And so server maintenance, who knows when that will happen, right? So it's going to make people a little bit more frustrated when they play it. The community that owns the game and that are trying to play it because they like it and they support it are stuck having to play a game where none of the AI is moving. Sorry, buddy. It's just a test. So yeah, if they don't fix the server soon, then yeah, it's gonna reach to a point where it's gonna be in a pretty unplayable state, and that's unfortunate, guys. I didn't really even realize it was like that too. So I mean, it's maybe if I made this video next week, it would have been very unplayable. It's actually a little bit choppy right now, but big, huge open world. You can build, you can hunt, you can farm, you can, fish, homestead, kill bandits, run around your underwear. That's kind of the gist of it. And I really wish it was on a happier note, but none of my videos really are. So I apologize for that. And let's make it clear, I'm not dogging on Outlaws. It was good, and it continues to be pretty good. And it's just unfortunate for anybody who's still interested in it that it's just going to get, it's going to sunset on its own, because there's no way it's going to attract a player base with its state and with the non-existent development cycle. So really appreciate you watching. Hopefully I gave you some insight into this game, and we can kind of put a nail in the coffin of this and move on. And, I wouldn't buy it if I were you, because it's heading down a dead end. So like and subscribe. Thanks a lot for checking me out, and I'll talk to you soon.